This is iBusiness 580-01, 2011, Fall Distance International Business Management Course. Assignment 2.12, Individual Country Report. My name is George Cameron. The selected country is Qatar. Qatar, what do we know of this relatively new but tiny nation? Small in size, roughly the size of Connecticut and Rhode Island combined. It is rich in natural resources, primarily oil and gas. The research from archaeological sites found signs of habitation dating back to 6000 BC, shards of pottery dating back to 5000 BC, and originating from Iraq would suggest that some sort of trading network also existed. In the beginning of the 16th century, Qatar was under Portuguese rule. In 1538, the Ottomans occupied the Gulf region for several centuries. During this time, Qatar remained under the rule of the local sheikhs. Up until the 19th century, Qatar appeared to have been a sort of no man's land, uninhabited apart from few self-ruling and often warring tribes and settlements. It also provided a place of refuge for those running from their enemies. The caliphs were one such group and briefly established a port and trading settlement at Zubarah before going on to conquer Bahrain. They maintained their claim over Qatar and were paid tribute. Territorial claims were not completely settled until 2001. In 1916, Qatar came under British protection, like other emirates in the Arab Gulf, but remained under the rule of the Al Thani sheikhs. By the mid-19th century, the Al Thani family already had some influence in parts of Qatar. Sheikh Mohammed bin Thani was known as the head man of the village of Al Bida, collecting revenue and taxes in and around and handing at least some of it to Bahrain. The British also had influence, though their main concern was to maintain peace so their trading activities could proceed unhindered. To achieve this end, they were involved in frequent negotiations with warring parties in the region. The ruling Thani family continued to hold power following the Declaration of Independence in 1971. The head of state is the emir, and the right to rule is passed on within the Thani family. Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani came into power in 1995 with the support and blessing of the ruling family and the Qatari people. Qatar's culture goes back to Islam. Its religion is Islam, the Quran is its holy book, and Sharia law must be followed. Friday is the religious day dedicated to worship. On July 13, 1999, the state of Qatar embarked on a new phase of its modern history when Emir H.H. Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani issued an Emirate Decree No. 11 to form a high-level committee to draft a new and permanent constitution for the country. In this historic speech, the Emir explained the Constitution is an essential document and contains basic guidelines for the state's policies in various fields. Among those is the right for women to vote and hold office, and just as important, the rights of non-residents to own property. Qatar's constitutional monarchy essentially shares power with a legislative body consisting of 45 individuals, 32 elected, the balance appointed. These incredibly important changes, taken for granted in Western culture, has rocketed Qatar into a modern, vibrant, world-class society. This brings us to the Qatar of today, a vibrant, progressive country when compared to its neighbors. Construction projects are ongoing throughout the country. Modernization of all public utilities has moved this nation to the status of most preferred destination in all of the Middle East. Despite the global financial crisis, this country has prospered in the last several years. In 2010, Qatar had the world's highest growth rate. Qatari authorities throughout the crisis sought to protect the local banking sector with direct investments into domestic banks. GDP rebounded in 2010 largely due to the increase in oil prices. Economic policy is focused on developing Qatar's non-associated natural gas reserves and increasing private and foreign investment in non-energy sectors. But oil and gas still account for almost 50% of GDP, roughly 85% of export earnings, and 70% of government revenues. Oil and gas likely have made Qatar the highest per capita income country ahead of Liechtenstein and the country with the lowest unemployment. Its proved oil reserves of 25 billion barrels should enable continued output at current levels for 57 years. Qatar's proved reserves of natural gas exceed 25 trillion cubic meters, about 14% of the world's total and the third largest in the world. Qatar's successful 2022 World Cup bid will likely accelerate large-scale infrastructure projects such as Qatar's metro system and the Qatar-Bahrain Causeway. The government, under the supreme leadership of the Emir, strongly encourages international investment in Qatar. Under the Constitution, Law 13/2000 allows up to 100% ownership by foreign investors in certain sectors. These sectors include agriculture, industry, health, education, tourism, development and exploitation of natural resources, such as energy and mining, upon approval by decree from the government. Law number 31/2004 allows foreign investment in the banking and insurance sectors upon a decision of the Cabinet of the Ministries. The same law stipulates that foreign investment is not allowed in commercial agencies and trading in real estate. Law 23/2006 allows international law firms to operate within Qatar. The magnificent leadership of this administration has led to the development of a constitution that will bring prosperity to all of Qatar for the foreseeable future. These laws set forth in the Constitution indicate the willingness to pursue foreign investment. The nation will set the standard and pace for economic development throughout the world. As we look around at the magnificent structures, we can see the progress is being made. It is clear that the nation and people are being transformed together. This nation will lead the region into the next century. The administration is investing in the future. The future of Qatar is more than high-rise buildings, energy development, and destination resorts. It is more than sports venues, exotic car shows, and horse and camel races. The people of Qatar invite global participation and investment in realizing the potential of this nation. As we move through the 21st century and beyond, it is not beyond reality that Qatar will become the Middle East's next financial hub. We invite you to visit our nation and marvel at the opportunities that surround you. We have staff available to consult with regarding the virtual seamless transition in becoming part of our growth. Don't let this chance to be part of the next greatest economic development pass you by. There is no limit to the opportunities in Qatar. This nation is building an infrastructure that is more than glass, steel, and concrete. Out of the desert sand will rise a people that will have the skills, knowledge, and desire to move the world beyond what could be to what will be. Join us, the people of Qatar, on this journey to the next millennium. The future of any strong nation is a well-educated people. Along with the country's free health care to every citizen, every child has free education from kindergarten through high school. Emir Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani created by Decree number 37 the Supreme Education Council, which includes among its council members the Emir's wife, Sheikha Mazah bint Nazar Al Nazinan. The council directs and controls education for all levels from preschool through university level, including the Education for a New Era Reform Initiative. Control of education is currently shared between the Ministry of Education and the Supreme Education Council. Funding to the Ministry of Education has been reduced, and many schools have been transferred to the Supreme Education Council. The Supreme Education Council is trying to improve the quality of secondary schools by creating independent schools with greater control over their own affairs. Qatar University is a public university located on the northern outskirts of the capital of Doha. In 2009, 8,221 students, of whom 73% were female. Courses are taught in Arabic, in education, arts, and social science courses, or English in natural sciences, engineering, and business courses. The university is the only government university in the country. The university currently hosts 7 colleges: arts and sciences, business and economics, education, engineering, law, Sharia and Islamic studies, and the newly instated College of Pharmacy. With a total of almost 8,000 students and at a 13-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio, Additionally, students entering the university are initially placed in a foundation program which ensures the acquirement of regionally crucial skills such as math, English, and computer technology. In recent years, several Western universities have opened branches in Qatar. These campuses are accredited by the same bodies as their home universities and offer degrees from their home university. Thus, for example, Wellme Cornell Medical College in Qatar offers a Cornell MD degree. Admission standards are high and reflect those of the home institution. English is the language of instruction. Please take note to the list of universities currently offering accredited degrees in Qatar. The list of the schools and the number of graduates will surely grow. This nation will propel itself to a greater global status on the minds of its young people. Unlike any other nation, Qatar is racing toward the future and its people will be ready to embrace it. Because of the wisdom of the administration, Qatar is preparing to lead the world to the next century. What are the long-range plans for this tiny country? The country of Qatar has been awarded the honor of hosting the FIFA World Cup Games in 2022. Their bid prevailed over that of the United States. The next decade will observe unprecedented construction of team facilities, stadiums, and fan support infrastructure. Technology yet to be developed will be utilized to meet the cooling requirements for the expected crowd size. Stadium design will include a floating venue, a first in the world. In addition to demonstrating new technology and architecture that the world has never witnessed, a number of these stadiums are designed to be transportable in an effort to provide venues for nations less fortunate. The people of Qatar cannot wait to show its hospitality and goodwill. The 2022 World Cup Games will be a springboard to present the beauty and serenity of the Pearl of the Arab Gulf. The Qatar Science and Technology Park, along with the universities located in the Education City, will provide the research and development that will be instrumental in finding solutions to the technological challenges presented by an event of this magnitude. Showing the wisdom of a great country, Qatar has begun the development of a space program. In concert with Indonesia, Qatar has launched and captured a communications satellite. The Technology Park is the home of research and development for numerous state-of-the-art projects. Some of these projects include biofuel research, alternative energy, communications, and medicine. Universities from around the world will be located in Education City, where the collaboration of great minds will give rise to the solutions for problems yet to be presented. The students and universities of Qatar will lead the way in providing technology and practical solutions that provide a greater standard of living for all nations. The replacement for hydrocarbon energy may be within the walls of these structures today. The nation of Qatar has chosen a path that will serve well the needs, dreams, and desires of its people. Recognizing that the natural resources it possesses, however abundant, are nonetheless finite. Therefore, with an eye on the future, the leadership of this nation will invest heavily in technology and its people. This investment, however expensive, will pay dividends for generations to come, not only for the people of Qatar, but for the benefit of the entire world. The leadership of this nation has set a course of prosperity for its people, utilizing the abundant natural resources to achieve this most worthy goal. In conclusion, I would like to salute the leadership of Qatar. As a country with very modest beginnings, they embraced the 20th century and launched themselves into the 21st century. In conducting the research for this presentation, it is absolutely amazing what this country has accomplished in less than 50 years. Whatever future lies ahead for the world and these people, they will not lack for anything. The leadership of this nation has laid a foundation for these people to solve any problem, overcome any obstacle on this earth and beyond. This presenter has a newfound admiration for innovation, commitment, and a level of entrepreneurship, the likes of which we rarely witness. By conducting the research for this report, I am struck by the magnitude of the projects this country routinely undertakes. The country of Qatar has demonstrated that anything is possible.